Hey there, YouTube family. I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for your positive feedback. It really means the world to me. You know, being away for most of 2021 was kind of scary coming back because I wasn't sure the reaction I would get. And your love and support and well wishes has been tremendous for me. So I just wanted to take a moment and thank you so much for feeding back here to me on YouTube, coming to my blog, on my website and feeding back there. It has just been so wonderful and amazing, and I really appreciate you, and it's so awesome to be back here with you. It feels really good. Now, as you know, I've been gone for quite a while here in 2021, and it's given me a lot of time to reflect and focus on things that are important to me. And I wanted to share that with you. And so I wanted to look at the topic of how to heal your life. Now, that's a pretty big topic. And you can go down many roads with it, including the great Louise Hay, who wrote the book, You Can Heal Your Life. And many of you probably have that book on your bookshelf, or if you don't, I highly recommend getting it. Louise goes into the 4 lower bodies in the book. She talks about the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. She gives you positive affirmations to use to heal whatever is physical and troubling you. And most of the time, when something is physical, it started in the spiritual body or the mental body through stress, the emotional body through pain and suffering, and then it lands lastly in the physical body. And like for many of us, we ignore the signs until something becomes acute. So positive affirmations are really important. It's not enough just to say, I love and support myself. We really have to follow up with action too. And take the time that we need to heal whatever the illness is. But You Can Heal Your Life book is a wonderful thesaurus of all the illnesses that a person can have. And you go through, from A to Z of what could be the challenge that you're facing right now. And with it is the positive affirmation to realign yourself with healing and also keeping yourself strong so that it doesn't reoccur again. It's not what takes us down. It's not the illness that we get or the injury or what happens to us in life. It's about getting back up. It's about being resilient. The body is amazingly resilient when you give it what it needs. So I wanted to talk today about how you can heal your life and what's been happening with us these past couple of years with the isolation and the separation. It has been causing a great amount of depression and loneliness with people. Now, loneliness comes from a disconnect to your own soul, to your inner child. And then when you find yourself disconnected from the isolation and the shutdowns, it exasperates the disconnect that you may be experiencing from your own inner child, your own soul, your inner being. So we want to focus today on how we can heal ourselves and get connected to who we are, our soul, our inner child, because the soul is timeless. The soul is eternal. And the inner child is the best part of you. It's the part that's creative. Recreation. Recreate ourselves. We recreate ourselves through recreation, through rest and play, joy, fun, laughter. And the latest research has found that inflammation is caused by loneliness. Loneliness causes inflammation, heart disease, and it lowers the immune system. So our loneliness is affecting our health and well-being. And we are united in our loneliness in fighting our common enemy, the pandemic. So no matter where you are on the planet and all of the differences we've been taught, whether it's ageism, racism, sexism, nationality, all of that goes out the window because of the pandemic. We are all in this together, and we are feeling it, the isolation, the separation. And that's why together we can help each other overcome this pandemic and be supportive of each other. So another interesting happening with all of us now is they're saying that, research is saying that we are spending less than 5 minutes a day outside. That to me is just crazy. When I was a kid growing up, we weren't even allowed in the house. We were kicked out and had to spend the day outside. It had to be a blizzard before we could get back in the house, or the worst rainstorm, hurricane possible. Otherwise, we were outside with our friends playing all day, riding our bikes, and that's where we were. So, fortunately, I grew up in a time where I spent my days outside playing in the sun, playing with my friends, riding my bike. And looking back on it now, I'm really grateful because we're spending so little time outside, and this includes children. It is not good for us to be in front of the computer all day or the television all day and not go outside. Sitting is the new smoking. So what's breaking down our bodies now is sitting in a chair way too long. I know when I sit in this chair too long, I stand up and I feel like I'm a pretzel. And I spend a lot of time stretching. I love to do Pilates. I love walking. I love being outside in nature. It feeds my soul. It makes me happy. So make sure you're taking time for yourself and you're getting yourself outside. Now I know in the Northern Hemisphere where I live, it's winter. And so it's not always warm and snuggly out there. It can be very unfriendly. However, even just going outside for a few minutes all bundled up and getting that sunshine, that vitamin D that you need is a remedy, and it also elevates your mood. It also releases any negativity you might have picked up from the television, the news, other people. And it allows for you to shed it, release it, let it go. So make sure that you're getting yourself outside for more than 5 minutes a day. At least 20 minutes, a half an hour. The longer you can stay outside, the better you're going to feel. And that fresh air is so good for you. It feeds your atom cells and electrons. It strengthens your body. It lifts your mood. And it helps to connect to the inner child. Now, the best way to connect to the inner child is to listen to your soul. Listen to yourself. And be open to what you're getting back from your inner child. So for me, this year was, we need time away from what we do. It's wonderful that we love to publish and we love to work with others. However, if we're not feeling good and we're injured, it's not working. And that's the breakdown. And through the breakdown comes the breakthrough, comes the transformation. And we're all being asked to transform ourselves into a higher version of ourselves, as well as live an extraordinary life, live a wonderful life, live our best life. So if you're feeling alone or cut off, you're not alone. The word alone means all one. We are all connected to each other. And if you're feeling it, I promise you, we're all feeling it. So don't just sit in your loneliness or your disconnect and think that it's just you and that you're feeling that way, because you're not. We are all in this together and we're all feeling it. And that's why it's so important to love you more than anything you think is a priority over you, because it's not. You can stay connected online through an online community. Stay connected through your local community. You can do Zoom calls with your peeps. You can be old-fashioned and pick up the phone and call an old friend. I've recently reconnected with my best friend from grade school. We grew up together and we went through grade school and junior high and high school. And then I went off to college and she went off and got married. And so our paths took us in different directions. But now at this place, we've reconnected and we're having so much fun together because we have so many old stories that only she and I know about what we used to do as kids. Because again, remember, our mothers would kick us out of the house and, give us some lunch money and say, hey, go off with your friends. And we loved it because we had so much freedom and we could go off together and get into all kinds of fun trouble and have so much fun together and just be little hellions and have a ton of fun. And as long as it didn't get back to our parents, we were good to go. So make sure you're connecting with others. Another thing I like to do is I like to talk to strangers. Now, I do this spontaneously. I always read the room. And if I'm in a room with people that, if I crack a joke and everyone starts laughing, it's pretty good because you've made their day. Or just saying hello, good morning, good afternoon, how are you? Making that human connection to each other can really lift the spirits of yourself and other people. And you're making a difference. Now, I don't always talk to strangers. Again, it depends on where I am and what's going on. A lot of times I can be in the store, say the grocery store, and it's really interesting. I don't know if I give off this vibe that I'm approachable because people will ask me for things like I work there. And if I know the answer, I'm really happy to tell them, yes, it's in aisle 8. That's right. And it's fun to be helpful to others. And it also lets them know that other people do care about them. And in that we can support each other right in our own community. So reach out to other people and take a class. Why not take a class, something that your inner child wants to do, something that's fun for you? Maybe it's something that you did as a kid and that you can do now. Take a class online. Take a class in person. The biggest remedy for loneliness is to tell your story. Remember, you are not alone. Alone means all one. And we are united in our loneliness to fight our common enemy, the pandemic. Now, if you like this video, smash the like button. Let YouTube know that you want more videos like this. And it also supports the work I'm doing here with you. Use this time to heal your life. What would you do if money wasn't a concern for you? I've asked this question for years because it's so important. It really brings us back to connecting to our soul. Money wasn't a concern for me. What would I be doing? I'd be in a rock band. No, not necessarily a rock band. But it really would be fun to be doing something that is entertaining and fun to do. What would you be doing? And tune into that, because the soul knows our contracts. The soul knows what we're here to do. And the best is yet to come. The best is yet to unfold. You know, another thing too that's been happening here in the States, so many people have quit their jobs because they want more out of life. Reflection gives you that opportunity to gain clarity. And like me, many of you are empathic and spiritual and sensitive. And that doesn't mean you're not strong. It just means that you feel things deeply. And you want to be checking in with yourself so that, like for me, I don't watch the news anymore. Very little of it do I watch because it's just regurgitating the same negative information over and over. And I'm not learning anything new. So I have found that by not watching it, I feel better. I feel more happy. I feel less depressed. And so be aware of that, or being around toxic people. Some people are just wired to be negative and always see the glass half full and just regurgitate the same negativity over and over. And it's not helpful. And so you want to make sure that you have your boundaries in place from the negativity of the world, from the chaos in the world, and from the negativity of other people. Really limit your contact with them. Check in with yourself, because if you're in a good mood and you're finding that you're feeling pretty good, and then you get next to someone who is, just continuously negative and everything they say is negative, and you start to find yourself not feeling good or feeling less than, it's getting into your space. And that's why when you're empathic, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, sensitive, you want to make sure that you're keeping your space clean and that you're keeping your aura strong so that you're not picking up the negativity of others. It doesn't mean you're not strong. It doesn't mean you're not powerful. It means that you're really dialed in, and that you're picking up the energies of other people, the collective consciousness in the world. Here goes the hands. Hey, and thank you for all that feedback on loving my hand gestures, because it's part of who I am. And so, yes, be aware of that. Doesn't mean you're not strong. Doesn't mean you're not powerful. What it means is you're advancing. You're becoming more intuitive. You're becoming more psychic. You're becoming more aware of the energies, the other dimensions. And it makes you more sensitive. And that's why you have to be aware of that and the effect that it's having on you, so that you can step back from it and not let it interfere with your health and well-being, so that you can heal yourself and heal your life. This is really important. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, hello, universe. Let's hurry up with that, because we are ready to inherit. Yes. Another thing I learned in reflection too is It's always the stuff that you don't know that gets you, that bites you in the butt. The known unknowns, the black swans. Like for me, ignoring my exhaustion, ignoring my injury until it became so acute, I realized I wasn't healing. And that's when it really scared me, because I was like, oh, this is not good. I got to step back and I have to rest and I have to heal myself. So it's never the stuff you see right in front of you that gets you. It's always the stuff you're ignoring. It's always the stuff that you're not seeing and that you want to be, paying attention, because the body is the messenger. Your body will tell you, I don't want to be around this person. They are too negative for me. I don't want to be watching the news. It's too negative for me. I need time to heal. I need to get out in the fresh air. I've got to get out of the office. I've got to get away from the computer. As much fun as I have doing the work that I do and being with you, and I love it, it's not balanced if I'm not taking care of myself and I'm not going outside enough in the fresh air. Balance is the key for all of us. And yes, I know we have to pay our bills and we have that constant need of security, financial security. However, what good is it if we don't have our health? I mean, I really learned that a whole new meaning of your wealth is in your health this year. So balance is the key. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be balanced all the time, but when the pendulum swings too far to the right or too far to the left, and we're not in the center, then we have really put ourselves in a place that's not healthy. Buddha taught the middle way. It's not that you're not supposed to have something. It's that you're not supposed to have too much of something and not get caught up in, perspectives that are too extreme. It's important that we are listening, and especially listening to our bodies, because it will tell you what it needs. Maybe it needs rest. Maybe it needs more play. Maybe you need to be outside. We need to be connecting with each other. We were born to be social creatures. We were not born to be isolated. That's why these past couple of years have been so weird, because we're social creatures. We were born to be in community. We were born to be in relationship. We were born to work together in person. I miss doing live events in person. I used to have so much fun doing live events with people, because there's nothing like being in a room of people that you're engaging with and sharing the energy and feeding back to each other in real time in person. Now, that's not to say it's not great on Zoom doing it on the internet, because it is, but it's not a substitute for live connection. I think a combination of both, doing some online and then getting together in person, is fantastic. And that's what I'd like to see myself do in 2022, is do more live events and be with you in person, be with you in live time, in real time, and all of that, so that we have this opportunity to connect with each other. So if you're feeling any of that, don't hold on to it. Don't sit and think you're the only one that's depressed or feeling alone or feeling cut off. You are not. It's happening to everyone in some degree or another. And it's really important that we are telling our story, because that's the remedy, is open up and share yourself. And I know sometimes that can be scary, because there's a lot of scary people out there. There's a lot of negative people out there. And you open yourself up and, anything can happen. However, you're also missing an opportunity, because there's so many people that feel the same way as you. And when you articulate it, when you share your story, then they wake up and go, oh my goodness, I'm feeling that exact same way too. And then they share their story. and then we heal together, and then we're healing ourselves united as one, which is, I think, so amazing that the pandemic could bring world peace, because we realize that we're not that different from each other, that we all want the same thing. We want to love, we want to be free, we want to grow, we want to be prosperous. We want clean air and water and food and a beautiful planet. And maybe that's the breakthrough here for us, that we're going to realize that we're in this together. You are not alone. You are loved. And I am so grateful and appreciative of you that you are here with me sharing this journey, because we're in it together.